Welcome back, everybody. Sheepdog Smokey here, and I'm seeing more and more reports that just confirm we are being manipulated. And we are being manipulated toward tyranny, basically. At first, it will be minimal. We just need to flatten the curve. Well, the curve has been flattened, and as many doctors will tell you, it's not a good thing. Because when you do stuff like this, you deny herd immunity. There's a reason we have a flu season as opposed to pandemic year-long influenza. And that's because we have herd immunity. There's a reason that other things that we don't go out and get shots for all the time are not just all over the place. And that's because we have herd immunity. But with COVID-19, which more and more people are saying was released, it did not get out, we're seeing that more and more people are demanding no one leave their home except to go get groceries. You have to wear a mask all the time, and vaccines are going to be mandatory. I mean, we're already seeing it. I'm going to have a video later on from someone who is not a medical doctor and is an idiot when it comes to the Constitution. But this one right here is Dr. Russell Blaylock. Now, notice, Dr. Russell Blaylock, not Russell Blaylock, PhD. This is Dr. Russell Blaylock. He is saying that forcing people to wear masks is not good. And I've believed this since before I started seeing the stories about it, because I've worked in places where you have to wear a mask. Just to demonstrate, when you wear a mask and when you wear it properly, this one's a bit small, but you can see it covers the mouth and the nose. And when you exhale, all of what you exhale stays right here. Even with a mask as porous as the one I'm wearing, everything you exhale stays right here. So all of those viruses that you have built up immunity to and that you don't suffer from because you have an immunity to it, you're getting concentrated exposure to them, because every time you exhale, any virus particulate you have concentrates in the nasal cavity and right there in your mouth. This is not a good thing. It does not make you more immune. That's the same backward logic as build up an immunity to alcohol by drinking it like a fish. No, you do not have a tolerance for alcohol. You simply believe you do because you're not a falling down drunk at the same level as someone else. That's the same backward logic as saying a mask protects you. If you're sick, yes, wear a mask. If you're sick, yes, stay at home or go to the hospital to be treated. But for those who are healthy, wearing a mask is more dangerous than not wearing a mask. Any company out there, private businesses, they are more than welcome to require a mask or whatever you want to enter their premises. And as a consumer, we are more than within our rights to say, I won't spend my money there. I will never shop at Costco again. I don't care if they reverse this stupid mask policy or not. I will never shop with them again. I don't like having a barrier between people when you're checking out at the grocery store, but that is far more effective than a mask because it is an impermeable barrier. If someone does cough, I've said this before, I'm a smoker, have been for 20 odd years. I have a cough. It was one of the more monumentally stupid decisions I made in my life to pick up that first cigarette I wish I never had. But I have a cough. And every now and then, sadly, something is ejected from my mouth. So that physical barrier will stop it. It also stops airborne particulate. It's like having a sneeze guard on a salad bar. I don't like that companies are freaking out and doing all this, but it's their right. And if I said I wasn't going to shop anywhere that didn't have a partition, I'd never go shopping. And I do need groceries, but if the company says you can't enter without wearing a mask, which I believe Dr. Blaylock, it is more dangerous to wear one if you're healthy than not to wear one, then I will not spend my money there. I know people who have requested and been granted a refund of their membership fee from Costco. So Costco is at least being a stand-up company by saying, if you're unwilling to wear a mask and you request a refund, we'll give you one. They're going to lose money on this. And they're going to try to come back and say, we've recently seen medical reports that wearing a mask is not necessary, so we're reversing. And people won't go back. If Walmart jumps up tomorrow and says, if you don't wear a mask, you can't come in, I won't shop at Walmart. I have several very small grocery stores near me, run by local people who are not requiring this. One of them I know personally, and he has said he will never require it in his store. If you want to wear one, fine. If you don't, fine, whatever. And that's the way, honestly, open and free society should be. I can speak out and say, if you're healthy, wearing a mask is more dangerous than not wearing it. But when I say this on social media, I'm instantly attacked by the hate mob on the left. They accuse me of wanting people dead. Meanwhile, New York State has fewer people than Florida, but they have more cases and more deaths. DeSantis has not been as draconian as Cuomo, and his state is doing better. Let that sink in. It's very simple. Fauci, Birx, Dershowitz, Silica, Cuomo, Acosta, all these talking heads, most of them are not doctors at all, and any of them that are have been bureaucrats for so long and not treated patients actively that I'm not going to listen to them when I see doctors who are actively seeing patients or who are still active in research laboratories saying, no, don't wear a mask if you're healthy. I'm going to listen to the people still active in the field, not those active in administration or other bureaucratic posts. I would post Plandemic, but it gets taken down before it even posts. But in that, Dr. Mikovits exposes Fauci for the fraud he is. And that's why the liberal left have been leaning on social media to censor that video. But the other side of this coin are the tyrants who want total subjugation of the country and the planet. Alan Dershowitz is not a medical doctor. Alan Dershowitz is, by this video alone, constitutionally illiterate. But watch the video for yourself, and then we'll come back.
Right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Wait, can I stop you? No right not to be vaccinated, meaning if they decide you have to be vaccinated, we have to be vaccinated?
Absolutely. And if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. If the vaccination
Where is that in the Constitution?
If the vaccination is designed to prevent the spreading disease. If the vaccination is only to prevent a disease that you will get, for example, if there's a disease that will kill you, you have the right to refuse that, but you have no right to refuse to be vaccinated against a contagious disease. Public health, the police power of the Constitution, gives the state the power to compel that. And there are cases in the United States Supreme Court. Case that pops into my head, I may have the name wrong, is Jacobson. I think probably I have it right. Check it out. You'll see that there are cases after cases after cases that the public health permits reasonable actions to prevent the spread of communicable diseases. Most of them grow out of tuberculosis cases in the early 20th century, but some are more recent than that. But there's still an issue of whether the governor has the authority to create laws, and that's a matter of state legislation. Yeah.
But you've opened up a whole new area here. So
right.
The governor has the right, or sorry, the government has the right to force someone to be vaccinated. But how do we know what they're providing us from a medical standpoint is accurate? There are doctors who argue that Anthony Fauci is totally wrong in his assessment, and it certainly seems like week to week, month to month, they don't seem to know anything about this virus.
I agree with that. I mean, I think there's a lot. I wrote an article early on pointing out two fundamental errors right away. But that's what a democracy is about. And if the majority of the people agree and support that for public health measures, you have to be vaccinated, you have to be vaccinated. They should give you an alternative. The alternative is to live in your home, don't get vaccinated, but never, ever leave your home.
Notice how he says you have no right to open your business. You have no right to not wear a mask. You have no right to not take a vaccine. If you refuse the vaccine, the government has the right to drag you into a hospital and plunge a needle into your arm. Alan Dershowitz is wrong on all points. Alan Dershowitz needs to read this document very closely and carefully. Provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare does not mean you will obey me on all decisions. There are so many medical doctors arguing that everything being done is wrong, yet Dershowitz continues with the insanity of, I don't care what people are saying, you will obey me. And the one thing I would say to Alan Dershowitz is, someone comes into my home trying to drag me against my will to receive a shot against my will, they will arrive with my cadaver and others. I will die on my feet before I live on my knees. I am not anti-vaccination. I received mumps, measles, rubella, all of the normal stuff in the 80s, booster shots all through school, had to get a tetanus booster a couple of times because of things happening. I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-bureaucracy. I'm anti-tyranny. I have looked at what should happen. There is no possible way for a vaccine for COVID-19, a viable, good vaccine, to be even possible before the end of next year in almost every model I've looked at. Development, testing, everything else that has to happen. Yet we're hearing that China already has one almost ready. We're hearing that we have one almost ready. Other countries. How in the hell do they have them this fast? The only answer is they've had samples of the virus and known when it was going to be released. Yeah, I said it. You don't develop a vaccine for something you don't know for sure you need a vaccine for. There are people who say that people in virology labs will study viruses and try to make them mutate so they can develop a vaccine for every possible mutation. You can't do that unless you are literally creating biological warfare and then creating a vaccine so that those you deem worthy of life survive. But Dr. Blaylock goes on. This virus does not follow normal epidemiologic actions. It's not infecting the healthy. It's not infecting the young, much at all. It is infecting the elderly and frail. It is infecting the immunocompromised. It is basically infecting the very demographics that the deep state wants gone. Cuomo himself, it might have been de Blasio, I forget, but one of them said, under their healthcare plan, a 95-year-old person shows up with cancer, they would be told, well, you've had a good life, go home and be with your family. Literally told, go home and die quietly. Meanwhile, they scream and yell that healthcare for all is a human right and we just have to pay for it, after admitting they will deny healthcare to those they deem unworthy. We watched it with baby Alfie in the United Kingdom. Alfie's mother is she still is, a citizen of Italy. She had contacted doctors in Italy. She and her husband, they were going to pay for the doctors from Italy. The UK would suffer no financial burden. But those doctors said, no, we have deemed him a vegetable. We have deemed he will die. You will watch. He was responding to stimulus. This child was not in a vegetative state, yet the socialized medicine of the NHS forced parents to watch their child die because it was too expensive to treat him. And now we have government morons telling us, you will wear a mask, I don't care what your doctor said. You will get this vaccine, I don't care what you say your rights are. You will submit. And they will find there are millions of people who channel Paul Revere, give me liberty or give me death. I think that was Revere. I'm going to have to look that up. But they will find millions of us standing shoulder to shoulder, ready to fight and die for our liberty. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. Wear it right. Cover the nose and the mouth. I can't count how many people I've seen where it just barely covers the mouth. Well, it itches on my nose. Well, then don't wear it. You're not doing any good by not covering your nose. Or they walk around with it on their chin. It's like, well, I have to wear one. They didn't say how I had to wear it. For crying out loud, if I have to wear it, but you don't say how, I'm going to pin it to my shirt. If you want to wear it, wear it. But you will not berate and belittle me for not wearing it. It's very simple. We live in a free society. We live in a society where we have rights. I have several hundred of these. I make the offer multiple times a day, it seems. I will send you one at my expense. It's going to cost me all of about 50 to 75 cents to send you a copy of the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence. I challenge anyone to let me send you a copy of this book. And then find where in that document, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence, it says you may subjugate me because you don't understand medicine. I'm listening to medical doctors. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not even claiming to be a scientist. I am a historian. Don't point to Spanish flu. 100 years ago, we did not have anywhere near the medical science community that we had 40 years ago. It wasn't until Roosevelt that the medical research community basically got off their butts and found a vaccine for polio because the president had it. But in 1920, medicine was so far away from even the medicine of the 1980s, there was no possibility of doing anything but quarantine. Today, we have doctors who understand more than people did 20 years ago, let alone 100. And they are saying quarantine is bad. They are saying masks worn by the healthy are bad. And they are being attacked or ignored. And we have morons like Dershowitz saying, I will have you dragged into a hospital and given the shot against your will. I will die first. I will live, and I will fight, and I will die on my feet before I serve on my knees. It's that simple. I've said enough. I've ranted enough. I'm getting a headache, so I'm going to end here. Let me know what you think. As always, be civil in the comments. if Dershowitz, Birx, Fauci, any of the morons I've called out show up, I won't be vulgar, but I will be extremely blunt and direct. The rest of us are logical, thinking civil adults, so we can act as such. I would love to see Dr. Blaylock brought to the White House, specifically to start citing case after case after case, demanding Fauci explain the miraculous knowledge he has that counters what medicine is telling Dr. Blaylock. It'll never happen, but it would be fun. As always, make sure to like and share so that we widen the conversation and grow the channel. You'll want to be subscribed with notifications on so you're aware of everything that comes out, and so you're part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. Until next time, have a wonderful day.